You don't have a bulletin, so I'll tell you that so you can read it. But I love this holiday time. It's probably my top three every year. Christmas, just because of the joy of that season. Easter, specifically because of the resurrection of Christ. And I just think the 4th of July holiday is fun. I love it. Fireworks were my dad's favorite thing. And I think that I inherited that maybe from him. We got to go see a couple of different displays this year. I like to get as close as I can so they look like they're coming right at you. And I just love the joy of this of fireworks and watermelon and barbecues and stuff. But this is a day set particularly aside by the founding fathers of our nation to celebrate the freedom that we enjoy in these United States. However, I trust that we who are here this morning know that the freedom of being a contributing citizen to this society pales to what we know as believers and what we understand as believers about freedom. This morning I want to take some time to visit with you about this thing that we call freedom. I want to talk some about what it is and what we think it is. I want to talk a little bit about how we have achieved it and how we can live right smack dab in the middle. Father, we ask you to bless this time together, that we might hear you and know you. Take those things that are for us and let them impact our lives and leave the rest behind us not for us. And we thank you for that, Father, in Christ. A few hundred years ago, men and women began to arrive on the shores of what we now call the United States, this great land, and they arrived here with a particular thought in mind. For the most part, they simply wanted to worship in a manner of their choosing without governmental interference. That simple desire that they had would eventually bring about a war in order to stand as an independent nation, having separated from the parent nation, England. They wanted to worship without not only governmental interference, but without governmental influence, without governmental intrusion. But today, our ideas of freedom have changed dramatically. Somehow we've morphed into thinking that we ought to be able to do whatever we think might be okay. That any level of perversion or independence is our right. That our individual actions and desires outweigh the good of the whole of mankind or of our nation. It seems as though most people in our culture today think of freedom as being able to do what you want, when you want, and with whomever you want, with no authority ruling or remaining in your life. They forget that freedom came at others' expense, and that there is a responsibility to maintain freedom. There's a colloquial phrase, I'm sure that many of us have heard it over and over and over again, that freedom is never free. Gosh, how many times have we heard that? And yet we know that it's true, that there is a cost to freedom, and it is in memory of that price paid that we recognize this weekend, this holiday season, as the 4th of July holiday weekend. And we set aside this time as a nation to celebrate our freedom. But I have to wonder in the midst of this if we're correct in that understanding of what that price paid was. This year, perhaps, the celebration of the 4th can be for us an opportunity to remember those who were willing to offer the greatest sacrifice on behalf of their country or behalf of freedom. On this 4th of July holiday weekend, I want to tell you that the price that was paid was not necessarily life nor limb, but the price that was paid was love. 1 Corinthians 13:3 is familiar to many of us, saying, if I give all that I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames but have not love, I gain nothing. Perhaps my favorite author and theologian, C.S. Lewis, said it as best as any. Lewis writes, to love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything, and your heart will certainly be wrung and possibly be broken. if you want to make sure of keeping it